with Mav saying this?
I absolutely do. And Skip, I don't know what his end game is. What was he hoping to accomplish by saying this? And here's the thing. There are perks that comes along with being in LeBron James' inner circle. And one of the perks, and one of the perks, there's obviously, you know, he's on a lot of these projects, Space Jams, the barbershop, all this stuff. Maverick Carter, being a part of LeBron's inner circle, gets that benefit. But one of the drawbacks is you have to be careful of voicing personal opinions, because fairly or unfairly, people will assume that came from LeBron. Skip, remember I told you early on, I made it crystal clear to my mom and my sister and anybody that I was dating and anybody of my homeboys, do not speak about anybody that's currently playing in the NFL, because people will assume that came from me. You have your own voice. Yes, you can say whatever, Skip, but that's only natural. What does he hope to accomplish by saying this? First of all, and Skip, and I know people say, well, Shannon, you said you could outrun Jason Witten. I did, but Shannon Sharpe is in the Hall of Fame as a former football player. Shannon Sharpe was an all-pro. Last I checked, I didn't see Mav on any roster in the NBA. What's the end game, Skip? What does he hope to accomplish by saying that? Mav, you don't need to bring that man's name into it. Second of all, Skip, no elite level defender can stop another elite level offensive player. KD ain't stopping LeBron. LeBron ain't stopping Kawhi. James Harden ain't stopping Steph. Skip, that's just the way it goes. We know this. Is Steph Curry an elite defender? No. But he's plenty good enough to get the job done. And what he is, he's a bigger asset on the offensive end than he is a liability on the defensive end. Steph Curry is a transcendent player because nobody is concerned about dunking now. Everybody wants to run behind the three-point line. That's Steph Curry. Skip, I don't know what Mav hoped to accomplish by saying this. He didn't have to bring this man's name in it and leave that alone. Now you got people like, you know Bron said, man, you know Bron said. That's how Bron said that. That's what Bron said. Fairly or unfairly, that's now LeBron's got to have to go at some point in time. LeBron, did you hear what Maverick said? Nah, that's unfair to LeBron. Mav, you wrong. Mav, you are wrong for this one.
Okay. I hear you. I agree with you. But let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I'm a big fan of Maverick Carter's. He is a dynamo. He's a force in LeBron's life. As LeBron's manager, he has made so many great things happen in and around LeBron James that have been crucial to LeBron's success on and off the court. LeBron can trust him because he's so trustable. But to your point, as Maverick's celebrity rises and he becomes a sought-after commentator off, his appearances on The Shop as sort of the moderator, mediator on The Shop, he's going to have to be more and more careful because you are bingo, dead right. I just assumed that came from LeBron. Even when I read the quotes last night, I thought, oh, that's what LeBron told him over a glass of wine. And maybe that's fair or unfair, but then Mav got so full of himself that he went LeVar Ball by saying, gee, I haven't played a decent game of basketball in what's it been, in 18 years, he said, but he couldn't guard me. And he said, the world knows that Steph can't play any effing defense. Well, I don't know if the world thinks that. I think NBA insiders think that. I think LeBron basically thinks that. But you remember, his context was he was trying to say that Jordan needed Pippen to do some of the dirty work so that Jordan could be Jordan. Right. That Jordan could lead the league in scoring as he did 10 times, including that last dance year of 98. Mav neglected to say that Jordan was also first team all defense that year in 98, his last year in Chicago. And Michael also was a defensive player of the year. So let's not undercut Michael's ability to play defense as well as Scottie, because Scottie was a great defender also. But Mav did go on to mention that Steph was or is a steals artist, Well, just for the record, Steph Curry won back-to-back MVPs, as you recall, in 15 and 16. In both of those years, 14, 15, 15, 16, Steph Curry led the NBA in steals both those years. Well, that's some defense. I know it's roaming defense, it's off-ball defense, but still, it helps your defense if you're stealing the ball. So you got to give him some points there. And then finally, if we flip it around to LeBron, you know, it was offensive to me that last year, his first year in LA, LeBron just played embarrassing defense. He played nonchalant, didn't care sort of defense. And he's playing much better this year, and I hope we get to see the end of this year sometime soon. But the point is, you know, LeBron was defensively challenged, so you come off as being a little hypocritical there. And then finally, if you say that Steph can't play any defense, then you know where it's going to take me back to, Shannon. It was that game 1 of 2018 finals at Oracle. We've gone back and forth about the game. It had potential to be LeBron's greatest game ever because he'd scored 49 points all the way up to the last few seconds of regulation, and he got the switch, and guess who was guarding him? Steph was guarding him. So if he can't play any effing defense, the world knows that, well, then LeBron should have just taken him. You know, he's, Steph, I'll give him maybe 6'2.5", 6'3", and LeBron should have either taken him to the basket and gone to the foul line or just done what Jordan did to Brian Russell, just rise up and shoot a jump shot. Win or lose, sink or swim. You're down 1 at the buzzer, and we know that LeBron passed it to George Hill, and we know JR lost his mind and didn't know what. We know all that, and then LeBron melted down. The point was, you know, it just took me right back there because I'm thinking, wait a second, if Steph can't play any defense, then LeBron should have taken advantage of that in one of the most crucial moments of his career when they could have gone up 1-0 on the prohibitive favorite Golden State Warriors in 2018.
Skip, there are a couple of other guys that didn't think people thought they couldn't play defense. That's John Stockton, led the league in steals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's the all-time steals leader. Allen Iverson. Skip, just because you're not on ball and you're not hawking like Mike and like Scotty or can glide Paul George or Pat Bell, Skip, that does not mean those you talking about. There are levels to this. There are levels of offense. There are levels to defense. But Skip, it's like this here. If Ernestine is talking to one of her girlfriends about how she dislikes one of the FS1 on their personality, where the hell you think people think Ernestine got that from? That's Ernestine has her own opinion. Ernestine has a perfectly good mind. People are automatically on scene. That's Skip. She got that from Skip. Where the hell you think they're going to get that from?
No. Wait, time out. Ernestine is the single most opinionated human I know. They're all her own opinions. She's way more opinionated than I ever dreamed of being. Trust me.
Skip, that's my point. She has her own opinions, but you know nobody is going to believe that. You know what Ernestine is. Okay. You've been with her for the last 15, 20 years. But somebody outside of that, just like that could perfectly be Maverick Carter's personal opinion, his feelings, his deep down opinions. But outside, they're not going to believe that. Skip it, at some point in time, for me, I had to think about somebody other. I couldn't just think about Shannon. I had a brother playing in the NFL. And so anything I said about a teammate or somebody in the NFL, where the hell you think they're going to think that came from? Sterling Sharp. So at some point in time, once you get to a certain point, Skip, you got to think about people other than you. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to blurt that out of that. No, you can't do that, man. You put LeBron in a situation he didn't have to be in by saying that. Now, I guarantee you, at some point in time, Skip, be it this year or next year, they're going to ask LeBron about this. And LeBron's going to have to say, man, that's Maverick's personal opinion.
Okay, and they already asked Steph his reaction to that opinion.
Thank you.
This is just me, Shannon. I don't think Steph should have even responded. It was just Maverick. It's not like he plays in the NBA. And Steph took it pretty personally to me and seriously because he said, he said, you look stupid if you're saying something to try to use my name to either get, as he said, you know, clicks or attention, you know. I get that, but you don't need to respond saying he looks foolish or he looks stupid, saying that because he doesn't know the facts. Just let it go. Let us have that opinion, because neither Shannon nor I, Steph, have any use for what Maverick said. So, again, there are two wrongs don't make a right. I think there were two wrongs here.
And Steph said they don't make a left either. But here's the thing, Skip. You remember when LeVar Ball kept putting his name, put Michael Jordan? Oh, I could take Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan responded. I keep telling you, Skip, I don't care. The greater a player is, the more pride he got. He's not going to let you keep shooting your shot from a distance. He will fire back. And Steph Curry, like, you know what? Now, I've heard a lot, and people keep making snide comments and all that and stuff. But you know what? At some point in time, they look at Steph, and he got that light skin, Skip. We think they soft anyway. Steph said, you know what? I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to fire one of these shots back. You look foolish. You look stupid. Putting my name in your mouth. What do you hope to accomplish? And Maverick has accomplished enough. He don't need any more attention.
And also, Shannon, it was widely reported back in 14, 15, 16, 17 that LeBron had some building resentment of Steph because Steph had become the baby-faced face of the league by winning two MVPs. I think LeBron finished third and fourth in those 2 years in the MVP race, but that there was some resentment of Steph. And you can see on the court, they've had a couple little skirmishes, little confrontations going on.
Yes. Yeah, of course. And Skip, and you look at Rich Paul, Randy Mims, who I know a little better than I know Maverick. You have to be conscious of the guy that you represent, because anything that you say, anything my sister say that has to do with FS1 talent or anything about an NFL, people are going to assume that came from Shannon Sharp. That's just the way it is. That's just a part of doing business. She understands that. She's accepted that. Mav, you got to accept that. That you LeBron's right-hand man, and what you say, it could